Just a couple days ago, Zack Snyder's Justice League finally debuted on HBO Max, and we can see his complete vision for the film. So what does that do for my ranking of the DCEU films? Today I'm going to stop and rank all 10 DCEU films. Now we got 10 because we got 2 Justice Leagues, from the worst to the best. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Share your ranking of all 10 DCEU films. My list isn't the right list, it's just my list, and I would love to see yours. And let's get started. Easily in last place is Justice League 2017. A hodgepodge Frankenstein of monster of a movie, and an embarrassment for everyone that thought that any of this was an improvement over what Zack Snyder had been working on.
That's awful. Just awful.
Clearly, the WB got cold feet. They brought in a director that was not remotely compatible with Zack Snyder's style, gave him a pair of safety scissors, duct tape, and crayons, and told him to squish Zack Snyder's epic into a small frame. And what we got was barely watchable when we saw it 4 years ago, and in light of this new release, just as ridiculous that it even exists. Coming in at number 9 is Suicide Squad, another victim of the WB executives getting cold feet in trying to change a movie that had already been shot.
I got a bad feeling about this.
According to David Ayer on Twitter, they've basically took this film away from him, reworked it in the editing room, changed the storytelling, reshot the ending, and created a product totally different from what he set out to make.
Not a great plan.
One that uses pop songs to cover up for a lack of character development. And so you just get a movie that has some nice characterizations, but does not work on a story level whatsoever. Next up is Wonder Woman 1984. This one is really frustrating because there's sequences in this film that are great. From the writing to the direction to the acting, they're just top notch.
Excellent!
But the film as a whole aims so high that it can't even come close to its lofty ambitions, and in trying to grab them, it sacrifices credibility and logic all throughout the entire film.
Bogus.
And by the time you get to the end of it, there's just no possible way that this film is compatible with the rest of the DCEU. Coming in at number 7 is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. Another frustrating film for me because there's so many things about this movie that I love or thoroughly enjoy, but at the same time, it's a film whose ambitions far exceed its execution, and which is trying to do so many different things with just one movie that it's so jam-packed that the plot has to be convoluted and complex to squeeze it all in.
You've made a huge mistake.
So it just gets over the top in the way it all plays out, which is frustrating because there's some phenomenal action sequences in it. It has some emotional moments. Some of the dialogue I think is really strong. The actual story with all this stuff crammed into it doesn't fully work. Then we have Aquaman, an unashamedly goofy and campy adventure that I had a pretty good time with. What I really appreciate about this film is that it's like one part globe-trotting Indiana Jones film, it's one part Shakespearean adventure, and all of it told with like vibrant, bright colors. Now, at times, it can go for some low-hanging fruit that can be a little bit fishy.
I thought my jokes were bad.
But for me, its raw energy is just infectious. It might not be the best film on this list. It's not a classic, but it is a good time. In 5th place is Birds of Prey, and the long title I can't remember. Now, I know a lot of people hated this movie on the internet. I just wasn't one of them. It reminded me a little bit of Guy Ritchie's early film Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, except set obviously in the DC universe and featuring practical stunt work. Even the John Wick guys came in to work on several of the sequences. So for me, it was a nice change of pace that wasn't about saving the world or even saving a city. It's small scale, underground crime, all told with a ton of energy, a hyperactive style that I found to be a nice little distraction. Next up is Shazam. Now, this movie is one part big, one part superhero movie, one part family drama, and all parts fun because of Zachary Levi's ability to play such a fun character as this kid that looks like an adult that has gained superpowers. I went into this movie pretty sure I was going to get some good laughs out of it, but what I wasn't expecting is just how family focused it really was and how much emotion that was going to deliver. You actually care about Billy's journey with his newfound family, and that's where the movie really pays off in the third act and what made this movie a little bit special. Real quick before I give you my top 3, remember to share your ranking down below in the comment section. My list is not the right list, it's just my list, and I would love to see yours. Also, I've done a bunch of other DCEU rankings, the final battles, the heroes, the villains, all that fun stuff. You can check it out right up here in this playlist. I've also done stuff like ranking all the Jokers. If you love DC movies, if you love rankings, you'll find something up there that you'll enjoy. In third place is Wonder Woman, a movie that I went into very skeptical. Patty Jenkins and the crew absolutely pulled it off. A big part of it is because of the chemistry between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. You absolutely buy into their relationship, their mutual respect for one another. Each of them as individuals are such defined characters that you understand what they want, their strengths, their weaknesses. Add to it, you've got a bunch of phenomenal action throughout the entire film. It's a movie that has something to say. Now, the first 2 acts are better than the third act. It does kind of end on a low point, but those first 2 acts are really, really good. Our runner-up is Man of Steel. This is a movie that it took me a little while to warm up to. I always enjoyed it because I love the Superman character and I enjoy Zack Snyder's style, but when I first watched it, I didn't know how to process it at first, but every single time I rewatch it, I like it just a little bit more and a little bit more.
I like it a lot.
A big part of that is because it just found a way to explore Superman from a different perspective, all of it told with just like a nice sense of nostalgia to it, and of course with Snyder's visual flair for action, giving us possibly the best Superman action that we have ever seen. And then the cherry on top of the whole deal is Hans Zimmer's score, which is my personal favorite of Hans Zimmer's scores. Put it all together and you just get a great superhero movie. But coming in first place is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I absolutely loved it both times I watched it, and every time I thought about it and talked about it, I liked it a little bit more. Zack Snyder pulled off a 4-hour superhero epic.
You did it! Congratulations!
That is better than the theatrical cut of Justice League on every single level. And what's so great about this film is that it spends time establishing the characters and establishing every single plot point and building out this rich mythology of this world of the DC extended universe. So as you move into the second half of the film, everything pays off so well because you care about the characters and you understand the plot points. I can't believe that there's actual producers out there that thought they were improving the movie by doing whatever it was that they had Joss Whedon do to this film back in 2017. This is one of the great superhero movies of all time. Therefore, it comes in at number 1. If you enjoyed this ranking and want more like it, check out that playlist right over there. I've ranked the final battles, the heroes, the villains, the Batman movies, the Jokers, all of it right over there. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much.